the personal business dealings of people all around the administration in crypto. I mean, you tell me if you think I'm being overly fastidious here, but it seems brazen. I'm amazed that the reporting on this is so vanilla. I mean, I just want to give a couple of examples because these come from the Financial Times. Now, before our audience screams or like chokes into their porridge, I'm choosing the Financial Times deliberately because this is a newspaper that does not like Trump, right? The whole kind of globalist, as he would call it, worldview is epitomized by the Financial Times. So you would expect them to be extremely critical, and you'd expect them to be looking out for impropriety of any kind. This was a few days ago. Trump Media Group to raise $2.5 billion to build Bitcoin treasury. They report the fact, which they exclusively got before everyone else. You're thinking someone in the Trump administration is giving them an exclusive, perhaps in exchange for favorable coverage. They're going to raise $1.5 billion in fresh equity and another $1 billion through convertible bonds, the proceeds of which will be used to create a Bitcoin treasury. This is the Trump Media and Technology Group. The deal, first reported by the Financial Times, marks the latest example of a group raising funds in traditional markets to purchase digital assets. Trump has pledged to make the US the crypto capital of the world. Members of the president's inner circle, including Vice President Shady, Donald Jr., and crypto czar David Sachs, are expected to speak at a big meeting of crypto investors this week. And it's full of these very nice, positive quotes without any suggestion that it's just a bit weird that people across the top of the administration are just personally profiting to the tune of many, many hundreds of millions of dollars by juicing a controversial industry that they have complete power to control.
Yeah, and I think it is flagrant and quite incredible, and I agree. We've kind of been normalized into thinking this is some kind of normal thing, and it really isn't. I think from the crypto industry's point of view, which is what I cover every day and have done for the last 12 years, I think they were taken rather by surprise by Trump and his family's personal dealings in crypto. I think up until the eve of the administration, it wasn't clear that Trump and his family were going to be personally gaining from crypto in multiple ways. I mean, they have now 6 or 7 major investments from a Memecoin to a mining venture to the deal that you just described, the Treasury vehicle. And I think up until late January, it wasn't clear that they were going to be doing that at all. And everyone was in Washington celebrating, crypto's kind of coming of age, acceptance into Washington power. And on the very eve of the election, we had the news of this meme coin, and suddenly it was like billions and billions of dollars of value created personally for the Trump administration.
Let's start with that one, because I think some of our listeners and viewers won't really understand what a meme coin is. I'm not sure that I could give a dictionary definition of it. But this is creating a new kind of coin, like a less official version of Bitcoin that people can buy into as a kind of innovative digital currency. Is that
right?
Am I close?
It's pretty close. I mean, you could create a Freddie coin, I could create a Ben coin, anyone could create their own coin.
Maybe that's what we should be doing, Ben. By the sounds of things, I'm reading
here that Trump's wasting our time here on the media.
Trump's crypto project made at least $350 million from the meme coin project alone.
That's right. I mean, it's very easy to create your own meme coin these days. You can go on a site like Pump.fun. There are thousands and thousands of these coins.
What is Trump coin?
It's just a digital wrapper for a cryptocurrency, and it's with a branding of somebody's name on it. It's as simple as that.
Which he then, in the parlance, juices by talking about it on social media and on speeches. His supporters are then buying it out of loyalty to him as a kind of giving him money, or is it that they think they will make money from it?
I mean, I'm not privy to the inside motivations for why they do it, but presumably they do it because they're going to make money from it. But I mean, like a Ponzi scheme, there were a number of hundred people who did actually make a lot of money out of this. So if you were lucky enough to be on the inside and hitting that button on your computer screen at the moment it came out, then you could have ridden this wave for a few hours and made hundreds of millions of dollars.
What's happened to it now? Trump coin.
Well, now it's crazy. I haven't looked at it this morning, but I think it's down something like 70-80% from the highs that it reached in the immediate aftermath of the announcement. So there are many thousands of people who have been, who are out of pocket. But there are some hundreds of people who did make a lot of money from it. But most of those were insiders who knew it was happening, who knew the pump was coming, and knew when to get out before the, excuse the language, shit hit the fan. So
and we don't know. We got to be careful what we say for legal reasons. We don't know whether any members of the Trump family or personal circle were members of that group who had access to that information and piled in before the market knew, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
I think it's pretty clear, to be honest. I mean, there were a number of investigations in those first few hours looking at particular wallets and where the money was going, and it was pretty clear that the money was going to insiders, including Trump's family and, members of his entourage.
What's particularly striking to me is that it's not just Donald Trump. So he has his two sons, Don and Eric, who are conveniently located outside the administration, technically, and so can kind of freewheel and do these business dealings, even though he is the largest investor and beneficiary of their business dealings. So they are his surrogate. You then have JD Vance, himself deep into Bitcoin and crypto. You then have Vivek Ramaswamy, who has slightly been frozen out of the administration, but is a close associate. His own asset management group also announced that they hope to raise $1.5 billion to support Bitcoin acquisitions. Cantor Fitzgerald, which is an advisory firm run by Brandon Lutnick, the son of Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, advises on all of these deals. David Sachs, himself absolutely dripping in these kind of crypto investments, is the crypto czar inside the administration. It's just like, any pretense of a normal liberal democratic situation seems to have been dropped. This is like Banana Republic. It's like a smaller African nation where anyone closely associated, family or friends or cabinet ministers of the ruler, is being personally enriched.
Yeah, and I think in that sense, it's not really about crypto, right? So, I mean, if they were betting on real estate or horses or diamonds, then it would be the same issue. It's about a conflict of interest. And I think it's particularly egregious given that many of these people that you just mentioned are actually the point people in regulating the industry now. These are the people that are setting policy for the United States, the most important government in the world, setting regulation really across the world for this industry, who are now personally enriching themselves by through all of these business ventures. I mean, I would say, Freddie, that I think there's a slight difference between the Memecoin thing, which is kind of pretty shady, really. It's kind of a nothing burger digital asset, and it's personally enriching those people. It's a bit different, I think, with Bitcoin, these Bitcoin treasury vehicles, and also another mining venture that Eric Trump has, American Bitcoin. I mean, I think they are legitimate crypto businesses, and the Trump family happens to have a financial stake in those.
I see. So you think we should make a distinction between the Trump coin, which really seems close to the wind and dodgy, versus these investments. But, I'm looking here at the details. So World Liberty Financial, which is the name of their newest venture, has created a new stablecoin called USD1. That is owned by the Trump family. So you have the sitting president of the United States. His family is creating an alternative currency called USD1, obviously intended to reference US dollar one. It's like an Air Force One meets US dollar owned by the president. It's almost like tricking people into thinking that it's somehow an official currency, or it's connected to the dollar in some way.
Yeah, I mean, stablecoins are legitimate forms of cryptocurrency. They're effectively dollars on a blockchain, and they do help people to use money more effectively on the internet. So I think the stablecoin innovation itself is a legitimate thing in a way that a meme coin maybe isn't. And there are a lot of people that think that stablecoins are the future of payments in the world. So, but I agree. The impersonal involvement of the Trump family in World Liberty Financial issuing their own stablecoin. And by the way, there's a big stablecoin bit of legislation now going through Congress. This is like a seismic shift.
This is the Genius Act.
The Genius Act.
Tell us about that.
So the Genius Act is basically legislation that covers who is able to issue a stablecoin in the United States. So it sets out a regime for regulating crypto, separating the powers between the federal government and the state governments about who is able to issue and how much kind of collateral they have to have and other things like that. So and a lot of people think this is very important for pushing the cryptocurrency industry forward because stablecoins are the basis for a lot of other forms of innovation in crypto.